Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 27th of November, 2023. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Monday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little left corner and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so now then, also just before we go further, as always, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. Yep, guys. So yeah, look, without further ado, let's probably jump into the charts. So last week, as you know, I was away, so in the end of the second half, and yes, so I mean the markets have shifted a little bit, not much, but in certain markets did move a little bit. So let's dig into that. Let's see what this week has prepared for us as well. I'll go through a few things to mention to kind of for you to keep an eye on. So yes, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. Now, this one had a bit of a decline, so probably the market is thinking, okay, look, we had a decent rally in November, maybe a bit of a setback here could be possible, like maybe a bit of a profit taking. So if you're not aware, if you're lost in time, then I mean this is the last November week, and what's interesting is that of course we will be jumping into December at the end of this week on Friday. So a new month, new start. And yeah, so let's see how in the next 4 trading days we can shape up this. But look, I mean, what I'm going to do, on Thursday, I'm going to look into everything, how the month has ended. But if to have just a quick sneak peek, I mean, you can see that, yes, we had quite a decent rally. So yeah, look, I'll jump into that on Thursday most likely. So, but for now, how we can play this one out. So first of all, I mean, I will go through the same instruments that I looked at on Tuesday before I kind of went away a little bit. So, and yes, we'll see how they have performed. I mean, I'll probably most likely what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to start fresh. So in this case here with Nikkei, I don't have many lines, so they're not really annoying me too much here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to refer back to this rising channel, which I talked about previously, and I'll still keep an eye on it. And as long as we remain above the upper side of that rising channel, then yes, I'm still continuing and I'm still aiming to the upside. Now, in general, like I said, yes, a bit of a retracement here could be nice. If we do want to apply the Fibonacci's here, well, the tricky bit with the Fibonacci is that this is somewhere around here. Now, we're kind of missing out on this little dip here. So it's maybe not as pretty as I would like it to be. So previously I've drawn something like this, which kind of worked out. And to be honest, if you look at it from this perspective, you'll see that, yes, it is kind of working out here as well. The 23.6 from the short-term perspective, yes, the 23.6 is doing a good job in providing support. Now, if we do drop and stay below that, then yes, of course, once again, I'll aim for that 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci and, of course, this upper side of the rising channel. So that's my game plan. In case this decides to go higher straight away, well, for that, I would probably need to see a push straight away above this barrier right here. So yes, above that, what's the level here? The 33,868, something like that. If we do get that push above it, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, potentially attracting more buyers into the game. China 50. So the Chinese index is drifting to the downside. If I'm not mistaken, I saw the news somewhere. Just let me refresh my memory. Yes, I mean, it says that, quote, China's central bank announced it would encourage financial institutions to support private companies, including with greater tolerance for non-performing loans. So yeah, the market did not really like that very much. I mean, it's kind of because it's kind of creating that more of that risk. So that means that, look, I mean, yes, the market is correcting lower. Maybe the maybe other markets will follow suit as well, just because, like I said, it's the end of the month. Maybe will people and traders, well, people traders, people and will follow suit because yes, maybe they will also do the same thing. That means that maybe a bit of a retracement in the markets could follow. However, I'm not rushing into that. I need some confirmation first. So one of the confirmations here on the China 50 index, it did work out. So we fell below that 11,883 territory that I talked about, and this, yeah, and we remained below it. My next target was this 11,742 tick, and then I said that I'm going to target the lowest point of October near the 11,557 zone, but not yet there. So as long as we remain below the 11,883 territory, yes, I'll continue targeting the downside. For the upside, I need to see a break above this downside line again. ASX 200 also drifting nicely to the downside. Look, oh, by the way, in terms of China, in terms of the economic events for this week for China, so for example, in the Chinese industrial profit came out today, kind of improved a little bit, but I think that all eyes will be on the China number which is coming out on Thursday, and that's the Chinese composite PMI, manufacturing PMI, and non-manufacturing PMI. So yeah, those numbers are expected to improve a little bit, apart from the Chinese composite, because there is no forecast on that one. I don't see at least a forecast on that one. But yes, the non-manufacturing PMIs are expected to improve a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. We'll see if that's going to be somehow in favor of the market, but I think that, yeah, it will remain subject to what's happening in the broader economy at the moment. I think that retail sales, we need to see those inflation numbers. That's what's gonna be driving, or some sort of risk. If the general economy turns, or let's say the Western indices turn north again, then yes, I mean, China 50 index could pick up too. But at this point, look, I'm being very careful, very cautious. Yes, I'm cautiously bearish on the China 50 index, but if by any chance this reverses sharply to the upside and breaks above this downside line, then, well, this could change the game a little bit. Now, let's jump into ASX 200. So yes, I mean, this is working out so far. I mean, I talked about this last week, and I said to keep your eyes on this little 7,064 hurdle. And yes, then oh, by the way, just a second, I see there's a comment in the chat room. I'm looking at GBPUSD and USD Mexican. Hopefully my analysis is good. It's trade good 003. Okay, yes, I mean, you're advertising yourself here. Okay, that's fine. Look, feel free, guys. I mean, you can check him out if you wish. The gentleman or Mrs. I don't know who is behind that nickname. So the person there, yes, I mean, is probably trying to advertise themselves. So yes, look, feel free. Yes, of course, if you wish. I mean, if this helps you, fine. I mean, look, I mean, there's no, I'm not really, like I said, I'm not really, what's the word for that? I don't know. I mean, but yeah, I'm not really. Anyway. look, coming back to this. By the way, I'm gonna look at GBPUSD, USD Mexican. Maybe I'm gonna look at this one tomorrow. So coming back to ASX 200, so yes, everything's working out perfectly here. So according to the TA rules, and we did drop below that 7,064. We stayed below it. So yes, so far so good. We are drifting lower. In terms of Australian numbers this week, I mean, today we didn't have anything. Tomorrow, we do have, by the way, this week we do have a lot of like governors, like central bank officials speaking. Jerome Powell is one of them. So yes, we are also having the RBA Governor Bullock speaking. So yes, something that might drive the Australian dollar. Maybe the indices here as well, ASX 200. This morning we got tomorrow morning we're getting the preliminary retail sales figures from Australia. So that's something that the market probably will keep an eye on, because again, the state of the the state of the Santa Claus rally. So yes, if you're looking at some higher levels on this one at this point, I am struggling to find good grounds, let's say, for starting to examine the upside. I mean, at the moment everything's looking a little bit more bearish. And as long as we remain below the 50-day EMA, then yes, it continues to open the door towards my 6,954 territory right there. Now let's jump into the into Dow. Just before so just a second, let me just put good morning in my chat room as well. Good morning everyone. So as always, Trade God 003. No advertisement, just tuning and commenting. Okay, no, but yes, you're still kind of trying to bring traffic to yours, to your page here. So that's fine. Look, so it's all okay. I mean, you're basically you're referring people to kind of to go and check out your GBP and GBPUSD and the USD Mexican peso analysis. So that's kind of in a way, trying to lure people in. But hey, that's all okay. I mean, we all understand this. I mean, it's all fine. People, it's not a private session here or something like that. So you can, as long as it's like within the kind of moderate, as long as it's within the moderate kind of area. But yeah, I can totally understand. So Dow Jones Industrial Average. First of all, I wanna refresh the whole chart, because look, we did push higher. We did come close to this downside line, which I had here previously, and this one's drawn from the high of the 5th of January of last year. It's a little bit on the tentative side. So I mean, I said to you that when I have drawn this one, that it's a little bit on the tentative side, because again, we only have 2 touches and we have like a very wide space here. So yeah, but look, what I want to do is I want to refresh everything and remove drawings. So let's start fresh. First of all, I want to bring back a few levels, of course. One of them is this one, and this one is right here. So let me just no, that's too much a little bit. Yeah, let's bring it big this way. So you can see that this highest point of September is somewhat of a magnet right now, and it has this. I mean, we see the index oscillating around this level, the 35,357, and yes, the moment I think that might stay the same. I mean, I don't think that this is going to act either as a good area of support or resistance. No, I think it's going to be more like an oscillation level, and we do get these occasionally. So but that's fine. Look, I mean, in order for me to maybe start shifting again to the upside, still I would like to see a push above the high of last week near the 35,440 zone. By the way, what I'm looking at here are the futures, and the cash index is a little bit different, but still close enough. The chart looks similar. So yes, I mean, you might have slightly different pricing in there, but in terms of the downside, now what I would like to see here is maybe a drop below this little hurdle right here, below this 35,167. And yes, if we look, I mean, I want to draw Fibonacci here. I mean, ideally, I would like to see. Oh, no, 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 this is not the Fibonacci. This is the Fibonacci. If I ideally, I would like to see draw something like this right here, but I get it. It's look, this 50% here aligns perfectly, right, with this, like this reversal that we had here. So I mean, if we do draw it from this perspective, then you will see that, you know, we have a little bit of a like say the 23.6 of course is closer. That's logical. But you know what, let's if we are set for a correction now, it might be good to consider maybe something like that. So I would actually like to see something like this. But of course, okay, the market doesn't always give me what I wanted to do, what I want to see. So, but at least I will try. I'll try to squeeze something out of it. So my first look here, I mean, I'll start examining some lower levels and maybe a larger correction to the downside if we do drop below that 35,167 territory. Then of course I'll aim for, and actually I don't have like a clear level, maybe somewhere around here. That's approximately around here. First of course the 35,000 mark, and then maybe just slightly below that could be a nice good target. So I'm not rushing into things here because again, look, this week in terms of US data, we do have a few numbers that are kind of say worth the wait. And yes, I mean, let me just quickly. Today, I think we don't have much. No, today it's a little bit on the quiet side. Tomorrow we do have the CB consumer confidence number. So if you're looking for a driver in the market, so maybe that one could give us a little bit of volatility. Now, in terms of, there are some other Fed officials giving little speeches. So yes, of course, the market will be keeping a close eye on that one. But on Wednesday, for example, in the US, we do have a few sets of data coming out. Some of the preliminary GDP figures are coming out. Something that the market might keep an eye on. Let me just remind myself, when's the Fed, when's Jerome Powell is taking the stand. Wednesday, of course, as well, we do have the crude oil inventories if you are trading oil, so keep your eyes on that. And Thursday, let me just bring it up. I mean, I think I've seen Fed, this Jerome Powell speaking somewhere, and let me just refresh my memory on that one. Okay. I think it was, oh, God damn it. Where is he? Where is he, Jerome Powell? Is he on Wednesday? Honestly, come on. There we go. That's Friday. There we go. He's speaking on Friday. Now, what's interesting about Friday, by the way, we do have the ISM manufacturing PMI figures coming out. So that's something to also keep in mind. I mean, that's coming out, and I mean, it's coming out like what, half an hour later after the U.S. Stock market opens up. But probably the epicenter of the U.S. data will be on Thursday, and everybody's going to be watching the core and headline PCE figures, the favorite inflation metric of the Fed. Now, at the moment, the forecasts for the core and the headline PCE year-on-year and month-on-month figures, now they're a little bit on the mixed side. I think I know all of them are expected to decline. There we go. All of them are expected to decline. Now, if that's the case, this could boost the stock market, but of course, it could put pressure on the US dollar. So just keep that in mind, guys. Now, coming back to the Dow here, yes, there is, like I said, these are the levels that I'm keeping close eye on for now. And then, yes, we will go from there. I mean, we'll go slowly, step by step, because again, it's the end of the month. Don't be rushing into things. And this week, I mean, yes, of course, market participants are eager to come back to trading after a short kind of week last week. But yeah, let's be very careful, have our stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. Now, jumping into the S&P 500 as well. So, look, we're also getting a hold up here near the highest point of September. So this highest point of September is doing a good job so far. I mean, again, like in a similar fashion as with the Dow. I mean, the S&P here, I mean, is going to be probably oscillating around that this September high, which is roughly around the 4,565 territory right here. Now, in terms of the downside, from the very short-term perspective, as I said to you before, a drop below the 4,540 zone right here would be required. For the upside, I would like to see actually, well, not only a push back above the highest point of September, but actually I think also what would be nice here, and let me just grab this here, I'll recycle one of the lines, a push above the 4,580 zone right here. That's the high of last week. A nice good pop above it would confirm a forthcoming higher high. NASDAQ 100, also something that I'm keeping a close eye on. Now, in terms of the September high, we surpassed that a while ago. I mean, it was where is it here? Yeah, so we are clearly standing nicely above that September high, but there are other levels to consider and other things to keep in mind. And one of them, and one of the lines here that I'm taking closer look, is the high of the 30th of July. Now, that's not the highest point of July. The highest point of July is around here, which we've managed to clear. We managed to clear that, and we managed to stay below that. Now, so this is where I'm going to probably take this approach. And if we do pop again above the highest point of July, then yes, I will go a little bit more to the upside. I'm going to be very careful with the current highest point of this year. And this is not the all-time high. No, the all-time high is somewhere around here. Somewhere near the it was reached in November of 2021. So yes, this one is here. I mean, still possible, don't get me wrong, but again, let's not rush into things. I mean, at the moment, I think the more important barrier here is this one. Let me just put this one in the chart. There we go. The highest point of July, which was previously the highest point of this year, but we've cleared that. And yes, now the question is, can we go back above that area? Well, let's wait and see. But if in terms of the downside, if you're looking for a bit of a retracement here, maybe back to the downside, my favorite Fibonacci level here, let's put it back. So I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna draw this. As I can see, the 15,933 territory is doing a good job in providing good support. If that gets cleared, and yes, then I will consider a larger correction to the downside. The German index DAX. Now this one is wow. I mean, this one is spectacular. And for that one, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove everything and start fresh. Now, certainly, I will bring back this trend line because I still like it. Let me just adjust this very quickly. Line, there we go. Boom. So I still like it. I think still there is some potential for some upside. But in terms of upside, we do have some barriers. And look, we're currently clearing this the high of the 31st of August, of this year, which is near the 16,070 zone. So we're kind of very close to it. So if we can, we already cleared it, yes, on Friday, but today, if we can continue pushing above it, then yes, great. My next target is the highest point of September, near the 16,152 territory right here. Certainly a lot of temptations for the sellers to jump in because everybody's thinking, oh wait, like, I mean, come on, it's like already overstretched to the to the upside. Well, it's nothing is overstretched. So I would say this way, look, for now, I will draw my arrow this way, but actually I'm aiming for the highest point of September here first, and then I'll take it from there. So 16,150 zone, this is my next good target. After that, I do have this one right here, the area between these two, the lows and the high. So 16,300 and 305, something like that, could be a nice good target as well. Now, let me just have a drink of tea just a sec. So guys, in terms of the downside, well, this is what probably all the sellers are waiting for, and well, it's a little bit of a tricky situation here in terms of the downside. I think that the better option for now is to wait maybe for a drop somewhere below this area, below this 15,935. If we can get that drop, great. I think at the same time, basically, we get the break of the upside support line. Now, I think that that's the kind of aim, the main aim of this idea of considering the downside scenario is the fact that we need to wait for a break of this upside line. And then, because any kind of throwback back to it could be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. Now, look, in terms of the well, the upside, yes, I mean that's in terms of the economic data. Well, this is something to keep in mind as well. And if you are trading something European, then certainly keep your eyes on the. We do have the some numbers coming out from Eurozone tomorrow. Yes, I mean that's maybe nothing special, but still something to keep in mind. The M3 money supply figure. We do have a Fed speaker, as I can see here. Oh, sorry, Fed speaker, ACB speaker, President Lagarde. I mean, if you don't know who she is, well, you better research. So yes, apparently she's giving a little speech here. So we'll see what does she has to say and how this will affect the market, because at the moment it's very difficult to say anything about that. But of course, there are some data on Wednesday coming out. Services sentiment, industrial sentiment from the Eurozone. Yes, business consumer confidence. Yep. And then on Thursday, we do get the we do have a few German numbers, German retail sales. Now that's going to be interesting, actually, very, very interesting to see how the state of the economy and how the retail sector is performing. German unemployment, something that's coming out on Thursday as well. And yes, of course, the core and the headline CPI numbers from Eurozone, but the preliminary ones. So not the final ones, the preliminary ones. So yes, keep your eyes on that. Still could be quite interesting. We do have, yes, ECB speakers again, and on Friday, I think it's going to be a little bit on the quiet side. We do have HCOB Eurozone manufacturing PMI coming out. So look, and again, some ECB speakers. I think Christine Lagarde is expected to speak again. So yeah, that's what's coming out. Of course, for all that data, keep watching the euro too. So yes, look, for now, I'm watching this. I mean, I'm observing this 16,070 territory. Let's see if we can clear that. The FTSE 100. So I'm going to run through this very quickly. So yes, we are stuck, and I think what I need to do here is I need to remove everything and start fresh. Now, first thing, I'm going to bring back this downside line. I think I still need that one. I still need to see this upside line as well. So we're kind of coiling up, I would say. So look, and we're currently stuck near the EMAs. So for now, I cannot really say anything about the FTSE 100. So unless it starts moving higher above the 7,533 zone, and yes, if that gets cleared, then yes, I will consider. Well, I cannot say a larger correction to the upside, because don't forget we're still below this downside line drawn from the high of the 15th of September. For the downside, I need to see, well, actually, I need to see a break of this upside line here, and then I'll start considering some lower levels. If we do fall below this 7,468, look, at this point in time, it doesn't kind of, I don't really like it that much. However, if we do somehow get closer to this upside line, and then this this hurdle, this 7,468, becomes a little bit lower than this upside line, then well, then maybe it could carry some nice significance. US dollar, so yes, continues to slide. So far so good. Look, I said it before and I'll say it again. I talked about this little hurdle, this 103.82. So far so good. Yes, I mean, we're on the right track to reaching my next target, which is between the 102.86 and 93 levels. So this is what I'm going to be aiming for. And yes, I'm still aiming for that. So long story short, I am leaning still towards the downside, but initially I am targeting this hurdle. Now this is quite an important area of support right here. Let me just put that on the chart. This is what I am keeping a close eye on. And yes, if we do reach this, then great. Then I'll see if we can get a little rebound or something like that. For the upside, look, at this point, I'm keeping an eye on this 103.82 still. If we do climb back above it, then yes, I'll consider maybe some higher levels. Gold, look at this animal. I mean, it rallied it last week. I mean, we saw that push. I mean, during the this morning we opened up and we reached 2018. Yep, there we go, 2018. Now, what I want to do here is I want to tidy up the chart, and I think I'm gonna just remove a few stuff. The Fibonacci, yes, no longer needed. This level here, the 2009, is doing a fantastic job so far. So in general, everything kind of worked out nicely. This arrow, which I've just removed, yes, worked out, because I said that if we do pop and stay above this 1992 territory, yes, I'm going to lean towards the psychological 2000 level and the 2009 zone as well, and then we will go from there. Just bear with me one moment, guys. Let me just clear up my throat here. Okay, so sorry about that. I had to clear up my nose as well. So, guys, yes, 2009, we reached that, so fantastic. Now we're getting a little hold up around here. What I said to you before, that, yes, if we do push and stay above this 2009 zone, my next target is the 2021, 22 levels right here, and then we'll go from there. In terms of the downside, now this is where the interesting bit comes in, because really I don't have a clear level here yet, because there are a bunch of factors that could weigh in here. So first of all, I think it's time to draw an upside line here, because look, maybe this is going to be like a descending triangle pattern, something like that, but again, we don't, it's not very pretty here, so it's really difficult to say that this is an ascending triangle pattern, with the upper barrier being here, this 2009 zone. So I'll have this upside line just for now. So if you're looking for some lower levels, I think a break of that upside line here is required in order to start looking at some, yes, lower levels. For the upside, I will still probably stick to the upside as long as we push above, remain above the 2009 zone. If we do somehow drift back down, I'll take a bit of a neutral stand. Silver, boom, look at this explosion. Look, I talked about this last week. If you remember, on Tuesday, I said to you, look, we're kind of forming something like a bullish flag, but we're still below this downside line. So if you're looking for some higher levels, wait for a pop above the 23.81, 82 zone right here. There we go. Boom, fantastic. My level was not reached yet, because I'm targeting this 25 zone. So in a way, there is still potential here for some higher levels. So look, long story short, if we remain here, I mean, above this downside line, and it seems like we still want to remain here, so yes, I'm going to continue targeting the upside, where my next target is this 25.01 territory, or maybe this 25 zone in general, and then we'll go from there. For the downside, I'm going to take a very conservative approach. I think I'll wait for a drop somewhere back below this 23.62, unless we start forming something else around here, and then maybe I'll revisit my re-look at my downside scenario, because in a way maybe we should kind of start considering some of these upside lines here. Maybe but look, let me just grab this very quickly. So maybe something like this, you know. So for now, yes, I'm leaning towards the upside still, but if we do start breaking this steeper upside line, then maybe it could open the door to some lower levels. Let me just tidy up the chart here a little bit. There we go. Copper, very quickly on copper, still near this downside line. Look, in general, it's something that I'm looking at as well, because again, it's very attractive, and demand for copper can rise, of course, if we see some further acceleration in the stock market, because again, that means that the production is booming, the production is working, or should I say, not booming, but just okay still. So, you know, there is still demand for copper, because as you know, copper is used everywhere, almost everywhere in technology, and yes, one of the main components, and for all those wires and all those cables. Yep. There we go. Copper is the go-to metal. And for now, I'm looking at this from the technical perspective. If we do break this downside line, yes, I'll get more comfortable with the upside. However, if we remain below this downside line, then yes, another decline here could be possible. However, at this point, I think I'll take a bit of a conservative approach. If we do fall below the 3.72 territory, somewhere around here, then yes, I will lean towards the downside. Oil is at a very tricky spot here. So why? Because look, I mean, it's a bit, first of all, it's a little bit of a mess. I need to tidy up here the chart. So if you're looking for some lower levels, I think we could start looking at some lower levels from the 73.90 zone right here. And if we can get that drop, then yes, certainly I will aim for the lowest point of November, the current lowest point of November, near the 72.38. And then, yes, if that gets clear, the forthcoming lower low will be confirmed, and then we'll go from there. In terms of the upside, well, some of you might say, but hey, maybe this is an inverted head and shoulders pattern. Not a very attractive one, but nevertheless an inverted head and shoulders pattern. Well, look, you might not be wrong there, because it's a bit of a weird one like this. So, however, if that is the case, then certainly a break of the neckline is required. So we need that confirmation break first, and then yes, we could get excited and comfortable with with this idea. But at this point, I mean, so basically, let me just try to fit in an arrow here. So basically, something like this, yes, could be possible. Now, in terms of oh, by the way, Daredevil Dave, good morning. I can see you there in the chat room. Good morning to you too. I hope you're having a wonderful start of Monday. I hope everybody else who's watching this this video right now, this webinar, is having a wonderful start of Monday. Busy one. Well, you know, it's before the end of the year. It's always getting busier because everybody needs all the time, everything last minute. So yes. Okay. Now, anyway. Let's see what we can do with wheat, because wheat is also one of those that I'm keeping a close eye on. And as I said to you before, that it seems like we are in a little range here, which is roughly between the 540 zone here and the this 596. Now we're still above the lower side of the this range, so I think this hurdle can go. I think I don't need it. I think I can mark something like this instead, 563 territory, somewhere approximately around here. If we do clear that, then yes, I will consider a larger correction here to the upside within the within the range. And yes, if we do clear the lower side, then yes, great, more sellers here could join in. So basically, pretty straightforward. Cotton. Cotton found good resistance near this downside line. I talked about this, and there we go. I said to you that if we do rebound somewhere from this lower side of this range where we're currently sitting in, then yes, I will consider a move towards the downside line. Tick, tick. Now, what's next? Well, we can get rid of this arrow, no longer needed. Now we can just focus on this downside line. If we clear it and we do pop above the 50-day EMA, that's going to be my extra kind of level here. If we do pop above it, then yes, I'll aim for some upside. But at the moment, I'm cautiously bearish, maybe even, as long as we remain below this downside line. Bitcoin, let's jump into Bitcoin. So, okay, look, I mean, I wasn't here for 3 days and still kind of doing the same thing. So not much has changed, and I'm still keeping an eye on the same levels. So for the upside, I need to see pop above that 38,000 mark, and I need to see the body of the daily candle staying above it. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 35,400, or should I say 35,500 territory, somewhere around here. Now, look, I mean, I'll start looking at some lower levels if we do break this this upside line, certainly. But again, in that case, I mean, maybe this is going to end up being something of a range, because again, maybe we will ignore this upside line and we'll just start moving sideways in between these two levels. So let me just put this on the chart. This is what I am talking about, but most likely you already understood me. So yes, yes, there we go. So that's the situation here. Oh, but JD Invest, good morning to you too. Good morning. Do you use your grid distracting from a viewer's point of view? Sometimes difficult to see values. Ah, you mean this grid? I do like it sometimes because it kind of gives me these numbers here. I see these like round numbers. I can see them. I mean, if it's distracting you, well, again, apologies, but I do use that. I mean, because for me, like, I like to see those nice numbers here everywhere, right? I mean, let me just see what's happening here. Just a sec. Let me just try to see where can I remove that grid. Where can I remove that grid? Look, I'll try to figure out. I can't remember from the top of my head right now. I can't remember where to remove that grid. But look, I do like these numbers. Oh boy, you gave me like a task, honestly. Look, I'm not gonna waste. I'll try to see what can I do for the next session. And yes, maybe if that's distracting you, okay. Because sometimes, for example, look, I mean, it's kind of like an additional line which basically kind of I didn't put it on the chart, but it's kind of sitting there, so that's why it's sometimes. I do like to look at it. So it's made me, I didn't put it on the chart, but I still have it there. So that's that's why I like these grids in general. But okay, look, I'll play around maybe for the next session. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll look at this tomorrow. So JD Invest. So yeah, apologies for the inconvenience. Al Mubaraka, right, good morning. Look, in Tesla, so I don't look at stocks I mean, in this session, I look mainly into indices, commodities, cryptos, and Forex, so I need to run through that. So this is the big list that I need to go through still, so still have around 14 minutes left, so bear with me. Sorry about that. BitcoinCash, very quickly, so still watching the situation here. The same situation is valid. I mean, if we do push above that, 50-day EMA, then, oh, come on. There we go. So if we do push above that 50-day EMA, I'll consider a larger correction to the upside because we're still below this downside line. For the downside, I need to see a drop again below the 100-day EMA in order for me to start shifting my attention towards the 200-day EMA. Ethereum, look, we are tracing back down, but we're still above my hurdle here, this area between the 2020 and 2030s levels. So, long story short, I would say this way that for now, I will continue targeting the upside as long as we remain above that psychological 2000 level, which is, by the way, judging from my grid, it's somewhere around here. So yes, I mean, ideally, if we remain above the 2000 and 2030 levels here. So if we do stay above that, then yes, I'll continue targeting the upside. For the downside, I think what is needed here is maybe a break of this upside line, something like that. If I mean all this zone here, I think I need to get rid of that downside line, no longer needed. For the downside from the shorter term perspective, yes, a drop below this area might lead to a larger correction to the downside below this 2020 zone. Ripple, very quickly, so also stuck. I'm still watching the 0.6296 territory right here. If we can get that push above this area, then yes, great, more buyers here could join in. In terms of the downside, a drop below the 50-day EMA. I'm not saying that from here I'm going to get very, very bearish. No, from here I'm just going to start looking at some lower levels, but I think I need to draw this as well here, this upside line, which probably could play out at the end. This upside line, by the way, is drawn from the low of, on my chart, from the low of the 17th of August of this year. Litecoin still stuck, and I think that I need to remove everything and start fresh. So we're oscillating around these EMAs, so you can see, yeah, so basically what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take a very conservative approach. A push above the 76.25 territory right here could do the trick for me. For the downside, a drop below this area, below the 65.23, could do the trick here for the downside. And then I'll go from there. Dogecoin, this one's pushing back up. Okay, this is a little bit of a mess. I think this upside line is no longer needed. But somehow this hurdle here, I like it. 0.0756. I mean, it's acting as a good area of support for now somehow. If we do drop below it, I'll aim for my EMAs. But for the upside, again, a push above the 0.08 territory, 0.0838 zone here is required. Let's jump into Forex, AUDUSD. So, by the way, I forgot to mention in terms of Australian data, Thursday, I think, let me just double check. Is it Thursday or is it Wednesday? Yes, on Thursday we do get some private house approvals, housing numbers, basically, private sector credit. And on Wednesday, I think there was like some numbers. Yes, there we go. So construction work. But of course, the main focus will be on the RBNZ, which I didn't mention yet, but I'll jump into that. So look, for now, I'm watching this. I mean, we're watching the situation here. For now, everything's looking quite bullish, because also we have the dollar events. I mean, or should I say, economic data sets which could affect the dollar. So in this case, I mean, if the US dollar continues to weaken, guess what's going to happen here? So for now, it might happen everything according to the plan here, because my plan was to continue targeting the upside as long as we remain above the 200-day EMA. So my next target is around the 0.661722 levels right here. First, I'm not going to drag this one much higher. If we break, okay, that's fine, but I'm going to keep it short and simple. If we do start dropping back below 0.6522, then yes, I will consider a bit of a move to the downside. AUDJPY. Now, this one's beautiful. We pushed back up. So basically, we pushed back up. We climbed back above this 97.68 zone. We traveled towards the 98.66. And if we do push above this 98.66 territory, this is from where I'll start aiming for some higher levels. For the downside, well, from the short-term perspective, I think that maybe this upside line together with the hurdle, this 97.68 zone, could play out nicely. So if we do break here below this, then yes, I'll consider a move towards the 50-day EMA. AUDCAD, just a quick update here. So I think this needs to go, no longer needed. Yes, there is still room for a correction to the downside, but I think for that, what I would like to see here is maybe a drop below this little hurdle, this 0.8952, and then yes, we could take it from there. For the upside, I would like to see a break of this downside line right here, and if that gets cleared, certainly more buyers here could join in, and we could start aiming for the current highest point of November near the 0.9035, and then we'll take it from there. NZDUSD. So something that traders will be keeping a close eye on, a very, very close eye on Wednesday morning, European morning. So yes, RBNZ interest rate decision. At the moment, the forecast is for the number to stay the same, and most likely it will remain the same. It's not. We're not going to shake up the market at the end of the year. Maybe we'll leave that for the beginning of next year. So look, for now, I think the market has already kind of priced that in, and here the main driver is the weaker dollar. So we remain above the 0.6049 zone, and I'll continue targeting the upside here. So my next target is the 0.6121. For the downside of a drop back below the 21-day, not 21-day, the 200-day EMA could do the trick here for a few more sellers, because we could aim for this upside line, which basically means that we could go for a bit of a larger correction to the downside. USDJPY, so this one's a little bit of a mess, but at the same time interesting one. So look, I mean, we did push lower. This kind of idea was working out, so I talked about this. This hurdle played out nicely, the 147.30. So yes, we rebounded, we pushed back up. So I think what I need to do here is actually draw this arrow this way. So now we're kind of back into this range, previous range, which we violated. So we're back above the lower side of it. As long as we remain above this, there is a chance for a push higher, because look, I get it. It's kind of contradicting a little bit the idea of the weaker dollar. But the Japanese yen is also on the weaker side, because if currently the stock market is rallying, nobody's like jumping into safe havens. So yes, as long as we remain above this territory, I'll still consider a move higher. But probably the safer option for now on this one is to keep an eye on this little hurdle. There we go. So this barrier, the 149.69 zone, if we do climb above it, this is from where I'll get even more excited with the upside. For the downside, yes, of course, I'm keeping an eye on this upside line. I'm probably going to leave. If we do fall below the 148.80 zone, okay, look, we could consider maybe a move towards the 100-day EMA, or maybe even back to the 147.30 zone. USDCAD, so we broke the upside line, so that's fine. Everything's okay. Now the next question is, can we go further south? Well, I mean, if we do fall below the 100-day EMA, yes, that's exactly what I'm going to consider. In terms of the upside, I would like to see a break of the downside line, and then I'll aim for this 1.3813 level, and then we'll go from there. So that's going to be my next target, and certainly for the upside, a break of this downside line is needed, at least for now. I mean, that's what I'm examining, because if we do climb back into this kind of triangle again, then no, I'm just going to observe the price action and maybe wait for something a little bit more clear. USDCHF, so continues to slide. Everything's okay. This little thing here kind of worked initially, but then we got that pop. It was fine, but then we kind of drifted back below it. So yes, no longer needed. I think we can redraw this, and we can put it this way. I think that's going to be a little bit more logical. So if you're looking for some higher levels, a break of this downside line is required. For now, we're drifting lower, so I mean, I cannot say anything else apart from then yes, that as long as we remain below this downside line, I'm going to target the downside. GBPUSD, so there we go. Looking at this, I mean, it's a little bit of a mess. Let me refresh everything and yeah, have a new look. And for now, I mean, maybe we have some upside lines here, but again, it's very tentative, so maybe it's not really gonna be very nice here, I would say. So look, long story short, if you are looking at some higher levels, I think that maybe, yes, another push above the high of last week, because we already kind of got that push today. But another push above the high of last week near the 1.2615 zone could do the trick here. We could start shifting our attention towards some higher levels here, maybe somewhere around here or maybe around here. And In terms of the downside, I think that for me at this point, maybe a drop somewhere actually, well, this is a tricky bit. Maybe drop somewhere here could be nice at 1.20, but no. Okay, look, now I think from the very short-term perspective, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep my eyes on this little short-term upside line. So basically the idea is going to go something like this. There we go. GBPCHF, we broke above the upper side of the falling channel, so that's fine. So we saw this as a little correction before another possible leg of buying, because again, before entering that falling channel, the prevailing trend was to the upside, so it worked out. The only thing is what didn't work out yet is that we did not reach the barrier right here, the 1.1154, which is near the 200-day EMA as well. And I think it's still a good level, still a good target, so I'm going to aim for that one. In terms of the downside, now we can get rid of this falling channel. I think that's no longer needed. Instead, we can draw an upside line, which I think could bring a little bit more value. So first of all, this arrow needs to go this way. And for the downside, yes, a break of this upside line here is required in order to go lower. We could, keep an eye on the 1.0990 level here as well. So, but again, that's my downside scenario on a break of this upside support line drawn from the low of the 20th of October. EURCHF, still looking at some lower levels, to be honest. As long as we remain below the 200-day EMA, I am going to continue targeting the downside. But the downside near these EMAs, the 100 and the 50 only, and then we'll take it from there. For the upside, it needs to push above the 0.9681, and then we'll take it from there. EURAUD, so this one is, yes, it's also oscillating. I like this level. I still like this area, actually, not the level, but area around the 1.664550 levels. So, and around these EMAs. So as you can see, the 50 and the 100, we're kind of jumping around here inside. So if we do fall below the 100-day EMA, then yes, I will consider a move lower. For the upside, I would like to see a push above the 50-day EMA, and then we could take it from there. So, long story short, yes, I will continue, like I said, maybe examining this area. Not maybe, but I will examine this area, but I'll get more excited with the upside if we do push above the 50-day EMA right here. And for the downside, a drop below the 100-day EMA could be nice too. And finally, EURUSD, guys. So this one is holding below this 1.0945 territory. Or should I say not below, but we're just kind of oscillating around that area. So we're keeping a close eye on it because it's quite an important one, as we can see ourselves. So if we do get a stronger move away from that barrier, and this barrier, just let me show you what that is. That's the this one right here, the highest point of, oh sorry, not the highest point. Is it? No, it's not. That's the high of the 30th of August, but a very nice area of resistance. So far, we're getting a hold up here. If we do push and stay above it, then yes, I will consider a move to the downside, and then we'll take it from there. So, if we do get this break of this upside line, then yes, I will consider a move lower. But at this point, I mean, if you're looking for maybe a larger correction to the downside here, what you can do here is maybe keep your eyes on this little hurdle or something like that. Maybe somewhere around here, I think it will be better. The 1.0923, yes. If we do fall below that, a larger correction to the downside here could be possible. So basically, something like this could be possible. Look. Okay, guys, I'll have to wrap it up here because I ran out of time, as always. But yeah, it was a big list to go through. Tomorrow I'll have a slightly smaller list, and I will look into some of the things that JD Invest in there said. So yes, I hope you'll have a fantastic trading day, guys, today. Hope you found this session useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, your views, your rocket ships, your comments, everything. So as always, stay safe. Have your stop losses in place, risk only what you can afford to lose, don't overtrade, and everything will be fine. I'll see you tomorrow. As always, 7 o'clock GMT time. Thank you very much. there, thank you very much for watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So like this video, we speculate your next mouse movement will be towards the subscribe button.